I assume you will let me know when to start. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Exactly. Within 2 minutes. We'll start with by 2 minutes.
Okay, good.
Hello, everyone. Namaskar. On behalf of Baba Farid Center for Special Children, Center for Holistic and Environmental Health, and Kheti Virasat Mission, I welcome you all. My name is Saurabh Chani from Kheti Virasat Mission. I welcome to you all in today's session. Now, I would like to welcome Madam Dr. E. Blaurock Busch, who is Research Director of MTM Germany, former Scientific Advisor, International Board of Clinical Metal Toxicology, and she is with us to address a lecture on environment, toxicity, and autism. I welcome you, ma'am. Welcome. Now, I would like to request Madam E. Blaurock Busch to start her session. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. It is a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
I will start the presentation now. I hope you're all well and COVID is not giving you too much trouble. We are in a lockdown here, a strong lockdown, so we will do the best we can to get this problem. And I like to point out here that we're talking about genetic testing, which of course is extremely important. So that you know how to protect yourself, what you have to stay away with, how you change your life. Let me just see that this doesn't work. So we get here. No. Oh, here. Most important, and I said this in the previous lectures, we need to balance our life. We need to balance health. This one here is a research I was involved in. It was a study on children in Mexico City who lived in various towns. Some lived in Mexico City, which is very polluted. Others lived in smaller towns that were not polluted. When we did brain biopsies on dead children living in these various towns, we found toxic metals in the brain of those who lived in the polluted cities. We also found evidence that these children showed at the very young age signs of Alzheimer's disease and other problems. We did, of course, you may know that, in 2008 or 9, a study on children of Punjab, where we checked the metal exposure of these children. And there were many articles published ever since. What we found out is that the children of Punjab are much more exposed to metals than we are, for instance, in Europe. This was of great surprise to us because Punjab is, of course, a state of agriculture where there isn't so much industry. Still, we found high levels of toxins in these children. Now, let us talk about how metals get into the brain. Nature has made it so that we have natural barriers that prevent toxins from entering our brain. One of which barriers is the blood-brain barrier. And that blood-brain barrier should be closed after age 6. And this blood-brain barrier restricts the passage of pathogens, of metals, and so on, so they cannot get into the cerebral spinal fluid. Yet when we did the test on these children, dead children in Mexico City and other Mexican places, we found metals in cerebral spinal fluid, which means these metals have passed the blood-brain barrier. So when metals get into the brain, they do destroy neurons, the nerve endings. And this has been demonstrated by the University of Calgary. If you would go into the internet at some time and you type in mercury destroy brain, then you will find the video and it is worthwhile watching it. So why do we need genetic testing? Now, there are certain enzymes in our body that allow natural detoxification. This protects our body from becoming toxic. And we have, in the last decades, identified enzymes that are important for detoxification in our body. We have located 2 enzymes, the GSTM1 and the GSTT1, which are very important for metal detoxification and basically the detoxification of toxins, of other toxins as well. This is a 2017 report from Punjab, the Punjab University. And in this, Professor Singvirk states there is an urgent need to study the epidemiological effects of high uranium content in drinking water on public health. As I have stated in the previous lectures, which you may have attended, uranium, we defined that in our Punjab study, is a problem in your state. It is a problem in drinking water and in soil of your state. This is a meeting I had at the university during my visit there, and we discussed the problem that we hoped to solve about bringing better water, better soil, better health to you people. Genetic testing helps us. It defines our body's ability to defend itself. It tells us how effective our body is in detoxifying itself. Very, very important. Now, this is a chart that shows that 38 to 67% of people worldwide are missing just one important enzyme, GSTM1. That is the one that's very important, as I said before, for metals and other toxins. You look here in this day, and you see Germany, in Germany, the study by Brockmiller showed that 50% of our people here in Germany are lacking this one enzyme. And if we don't have this enzyme, certainly we have others who can also help the body to detoxify, but there is one missing, and that missing one cannot be replaced. This is my family, and I am showing, this is my daughter, my granddaughter. You see me in the back, the partner. And I'm showing you this picture for a very specific reason. You see, I have worked in the laboratory all my life, and I have been exposed to a lot of toxins. I handled a lot of toxins. Yet I am pretty healthy. And when we did the enzyme testing on myself, we found out that my enzyme system is good, complete. Now, when we did my daughter, we noticed there are two of them missing in her system. And this is one reason why she has had troubles. When she was born, she was healthy, actually. We thought she was healthy. When she received her first immunization, we almost lost her. She had neurological problems that we could not explain. And later on, when we did some hair analysis on her, we found out that she had high mercury levels in her system. The question was why? She never worked with mercury, ever. She received the toxins from me during pregnancy, before birth. So this means, since we know that she has missing enzymes that are needed for detoxification, it is logical that we need to detoxify her often, regularly, throughout life. That will always be necessary. If she gets into an area where there are more toxins due to environment or food or whatnot, water, she will be more able to take those toxins into her body than I. So in other words, I am much more protected. She is not. We have not yet tested her daughter, the little blonde girl in the front, but we will do that. Now, the question is, why does my daughter not have all the enzymes, since I do? My husband, he is not here in the picture, has died of pancreatic cancer. And after his death, we did a biopsy. And we also checked for his detoxifying enzymes. Well, he had enzymes missing, just like our daughter. He also had high mercury in the tumor, the pancreatic tumor. So you see, a toxic environment will lead to many diseases, not just autism. It will also lead to cancer, and we will talk about this at the next seminar this coming year. When we look at statistics, we find that the Malaysians, for instance, or Pacific Islanders, have a missing enzyme activity of at least one enzyme that is 62 to 100%. These people are in great danger of becoming ill. Asian populations generally have a reported frequency of 48 to 50% for the Japanese, up to 60% for the Chinese. So it is not an uncommon problem. And the message on this is that we need to tell you urgently, these 50% of the population that have missing enzyme functions or inactive enzyme functions, and generally a person who has one missing will also have other inactive enzyme functions. These people need detoxification treatments more often. They also need greater nutritional support. This is a picture. Here you see me on the right. That has been taken in South Africa, in Johannesburg. In Johannesburg, in the surrounding, there are uranium mines. And you see on the left here with the red shirt, the professor who has a Geiger center. We tested the soil and the water, and we were horrified to see that people lived, they had their huts, their houses on grounds that were highly radioactive. We took soil and water. You see this here. I have a bag here in my hand that we took back for testing. So uranium is a problem in certain countries of the world. There is a study here that showed that, important enzymes, GST, M1 in particular, were missing in Indian women with endometriosis. Nobody has actually thought about that other than a few researchers. This is a picture I took while I was in Punjab. It shows Punjabi women and children. And these people are drinking uranium-rich water. They are eating food that has been grown on uranium-rich soil. And we do wonder why these people get sick or have sick children, autistic children, malformed children. It's no surprise. And the question arises, of course, I will get to this probably later, but I don't want to forget, why is there such high uranium in Punjab? Now, uranium, if we look at the countries who show high uranium in water and soil, and we have areas in Germany like that, the uranium comes from the rocks in the soil, okay? It's geologically determined. But in Punjab, we found out another problem. Not only is it geologically determined, has it been determined that there is rocks who contribute to the problem, you also are using a lot of fertilizer. And the fertilizers that you receive are high in uranium, high in cadmium, and other metals. We have tested for that, and the companies like Monsanto who do supply these fertilizers actually agreed and confirmed that the fertilizers you people in Punjab receive are fertilizers that are not allowed entry into Europe due to the high count of toxins. Now, when you look at other studies, you will find that coronary artery disease is high in North Indian Punjabis. And why? Because these people are missing GSTM1 and other glutathione S transferases, these important enzymes for the detoxification of toxins. This is a picture I also took with Professor Prakash. And you see the animals here and the soil and the water tanks in the back that you don't see right now, but I also took pictures. So we tested all this, and we found problems. Now, the Pakistani population also has these problems. It's not just you, it is a universal problem. And the risk, of course, gets higher depending on how many enzymes are dysfunctional or missing. So you see up to 70% of the West Indian population has problems. It's connected, these missing enzymes are connected to cancers, infertility, diabetes, kidney disease, coronary artery disease, endometriosis, as I have said, and many other diseases. There is no doubt about that anymore. When we look at this here, at this chart, you find that people who have suffered lung cancer, 81% of them had a missing GSTM1. That's quite remarkable. So you see, if a person with a missing GSTM1 does smoke, he will get cancer because he cannot detoxify his own body. Tumors, people with tumors, 65% have missing GSTM1 and so on. This is quite astonishing. And of course, this problem will continue to rise. Why? As I have told you in the story of my husband and myself, if two people meet and have a child, one has all functioning enzymes, the other has one or two missing, the offspring, the child, will most likely also have one missing. So you see, if we then have two people meeting, two people missing enzymes, and they are having a child, the problem gets worse and worse. It's rising exponentially. The future of people worldwide is not good when we look at this, and also think about the rise in environmental pollution. So I see there are so many studies I have, and I only added here a few. There are many, 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 but nobody talks about that. I'd like to point out a little bit more about COVID. You see, any virus, we know that from herpes viruses, we know it from AIDS, we know it from SARS, we know it from the common cold virus. A virus loves a toxic environment. A virus depends on a weak host. So if you have a weak detoxification system, you are a weak host. And the virus will love to be with you and spread. This study here says that people with missing GSTT1 and GSTM1, the important ones, are very susceptible when in contact with pesticides. So think about your own people. You are exposed to pesticides more than we are here. Now, Germans have about 50% missing GSTM1. Your population most likely have 50% missing, but you are more exposed to pesticides than we are. The good thing is, toxic metals are quite easily detoxified. We can detox metals with nutrients, vitamin C, amino acids, and so on. We also have synthetic chelators that can detoxify metals. We have great difficulties detoxifying organic toxins. And I will get to this a little bit later because, there is often questions coming in to me or other people in our lab or elsewhere. Why don't we test pesticides? Well, we do test pesticides. But when I know that you are exposed to pesticides, and I would say every Punjabi is, then my question to you is, who has the answer on detoxifying pesticides? To my knowledge, Really nobody. A lot of laboratories test for things just to test, but they do not know what to do with the results. I tell you, I will not do that. We need to balance, I said in the beginning. We need to remove toxins as much as we can. Peeling the onion, I call it. Take away layers that you can't take away. Improve nutrition. And that alone reduces your body's uptake of toxins. Now, I think, and this is what I would like to tell you for sure, there are some essential tests that we use, that we need to have for environmentally exposed people. A routine blood test, and that can be done locally at your lab. You should find out what the quality of your drinking water is. If you are a farmer, you need to find out your soil quality, and that you can get, that information you can get from your local municipality, you can get it from your university's agricultural departments. You should do a hair mineral analysis because it tells you how you have absorbed essential nutrients and toxins. This is very important because what you have stored in your body is what your body has to deal with. So try to get rid of as many toxins as you can and try to improve your nutritional system. You can also do a whole blood mineral analysis. That will tell you what you are exposed to now, not what you are exposed to 5 months ago. Hair analysis will tell you that. But what you are exposed to now, blood will tell you, hair cannot. Okay, so the two tests are very important together, actually. And then there are genetic tests, and I will get into that. For that, we could use, that's the easiest, EDTA, 1 milliliter of EDTA blood. There's also gum swabs, but that I will explain to you is a little difficult. So here you see on the left side the mineral wheel that I have shown you before. And on the right, you see a leg with serious eczema. This is from a person from Asia. In the past, Asians had beautiful skin. Europeans always envied Asians for their beautiful skin. This has changed because the metals are not in balance anymore. Asians are exposed to a lot of toxins through food, through environment, and the nutritional intake is often limited, not necessarily through diet. Asian diet is a good diet, but because toxins also destroy the mucous membranes and the membranes of your digestive tract. So if your digestive tract is not healthy, you will not absorb metals properly. Here is the detoxification pathway. We have phase 1 enzyme systems, cytochrome, SODs. Phase 2, the glutathione transferases. We talked about mostly GST and 1s and so on. And then There is the oxidation reduction, hydrolysis. The toxins couple with glutathione amino acids and are then excreted and eliminated by the body. That is a normal detoxification. So the superoxide dismutases, the SODs 1 and 2, are very important. These are the enzymes in the first pathway. We all have those enzymes. You do not miss these enzymes, but if you're manganese or copper or zinc deficient, these SODs cannot function. They will be there, but they're dormant. They cannot do anything. They're dysfunctional. And when we look at the autistic boys, for instance, we generally find zinc deficiency. Manganese deficiency is rather uncommon in Asian people who drink a lot of tea, but zinc deficiency is common. So if you have a zinc deficiency, and we find this in hair analysis or blood analysis, we can assume that your SOD is not functioning properly. If you would then have one of these GSTs missing, you are in a very sad position. Your detoxification system cannot work. So we have studies that already show that people with Alzheimer's disease have missing GSTT1. And that is one of the reasons they are accumulating toxins and accumulating plaque in the brain that leads to Alzheimer's disease. Of course, one of the other reasons is, and that's why I'm so focusing on hair analysis, is we have found through our own studies and that of others that the exposure to toxins like lead, mercury, arsenic, cadmium, and so on destroys your natural barriers, the blood-brain barrier, the colon mucous membranes. And if you then have, in addition, missing GSTM1 or P1 or T1, how can you not become toxic and sick? This is a hair analysis report. Now you see from this one here that this child has a number of problems, multiple problems, that needs to be corrected. And it might have to be that a genetic test is done, because this child here had, for instance, missing enzymes. So naturally, it will pick up toxins and accumulate toxins in its system. When we know that, then we can aggressively, actually, detoxify. I know somebody held the hand up, but I cannot see that. I'm so sorry. So I don't even see the chat box. So somebody would have to read to me the question. So here you see a submission form for genetic testing, and you see the tests are really not that expensive. I am sure that Dr. Preet will release some of this information to you. If you don't, I will give you the email and I can give you more information. What we need for genetic testing is very important. We need patient sex and age. And of course, the signature, because otherwise we are not able to legally do the test. This is some more which you find. These are information on the submission sheet. There is a booklet on our website I have written. It tells you on how neurotoxic metals affect autism, Asperger, and so on. And you can actually download this free of charge. Just go to the website and download the PDF file. No cost to you. So, in summary, what would I recommend for someone who has an autistic child or is ill, him or herself? For sure, I would do metal screening, because this is how I can help your body be healthier. When I remove toxins, I improve enzyme systems, I improve your blood system, I basically improve health automatically. I would do hair and blood, because blood tells me what happens now, what you are getting from your environment today. And the hair tells me how you accumulated over time. And we can then detoxify the body with various chelators, natural or synthetic, depending on the metal exposure and also on what is available to you people in your country. It doesn't help you if I tell you you can get a certain chelator that is very effective for detoxifying arsenic when it is not allowed in your country. So we have to be specific, and we have to think about what is available to you. And of course, the detoxification ability, it is good to know. We did not know this 50 years ago. Now we do, and it is actually a blessing. This is a submission form for hair analysis. You could cut the hair yourself. We need about 1 to 2 teaspoons of natural hair, not chemically treated. And you place it in a simple paper envelope and you fill out a submission sheet and you send it to us, and we get the reports to you, to your doctor, to whomever, whatever you list. This is an old picture of myself and my daughter working in the laboratory. Actually, I do not work in the laboratory anymore, not for, 20 years now. I'm almost 80. And my daughter is really just working in administration and making sure that everybody functions well. And she is a great coordinator. She's a lovely person. Look at her eyes. And anyway, so she coordinates the people, so they're doing a good job for you. So we're here to help you. But let me point out, I have received questions on Do you do these tests? Very different. I just picked out a few. Yes, we can do everything that can be done in a medical laboratory today. But I'm not going to do it for you. For the simple reason, most of these tests will not help you to get to the core of your problem. They're expensive and they're not really, I would say, getting you on the road to health. They just confuse you. We can do organic chemicals up the yin yang. It's my specialty. Chemicals are my specialty. But we do not really do them a lot because, number one, they would have to be done, the samples would have to come to the laboratory very quickly, within a day or two. Also, when we have the results, the question is then, what do I do with it? Do I have a treatment that removes pesticides, for instance? Well, we only have a couple of nutrients that are useful for that. We don't have chemicals, pharmaceuticals. We know, for instance, that people who are exposed to organic chemicals, including pesticides and so on, are generally improving when you get vitamin B12. But I don't need to test in order to do that. So if I talk with you, or your doctor talks with you, or you are the doctor talking to the patient, ask him, what are you exposed to? What do you know? Have you had your water checked? What is the soil made of that you are growing your vegetables in? So you will know, and then you give him nutrients. And that is the best you can do. And I don't need extra tests to tell you that. I'm old-fashioned. And I am not here to make money. So I am here to help you, just like my people are here to help you. And I tell you, I have one thing I have always said all my life. If I do the right thing, if I do it well, God will make sure that I'm provided for. That is all I need. And I thank you very much. I appreciate your time, and stay healthy and positive. Thank you much.
Thank you so very much, Madam. Now I would like to open the house for question and answers. We are having Dr. Milen, who is sending his questions in chat box. Can you go through the chat box, or I shall read the questions?
Let me see if I can find the chat book. Chat.
I can either unmute him so that he can ask his questions clearly.
Maybe you should read it to me. Let's see here.
Let me first unmute
Oh,
him.
I have it. Please share how consult the doctor. I have done hair test for my son. He is having lead toxicity. Okay, this is from Latha. And I would say lead is very easily detoxified. You can use this with vitamin C. You can do this with amino acids. Tell your doctor to get in touch with me, and I will able to help you. Let me see what else there is. used to see them. Now I don't see them. Okay.
I will coordinate.
You might have, okay. Can we get these tests done in India? That I don't know. I would say get in touch with Dr. Preet. He will tell you.
Dr. Milind was having several more questions. I'm unmuting him. Dr. Milind, please unmute yourself and ask your queries. Yes, Dr. Milind,
Okay,
please.
right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Thank you, madam. It was a very interesting talk, very fascinating.
Thank you.
Certain queries, rise in my mind. The first thing is, suppose we have not done any test for the presence of this enzyme, what would be the first clinical sign indicating that the absence of enzyme in the body? What would be the first clinical symptom or first clinical sign suggesting that this enzyme is absent?
There is no such thing. The problem is that depending on other genetic involvements, you see, let's talk about lead exposure. I have met people with high lead exposure who became anemic. That's the classical medical symptom. The other classical is very serious headaches, digestive problems, upset stomach. But, I also have met people who became very depressed, who had suicidal behavior. So it all depends on where your system is the weakest. You see? When I talked about mercury and my husband, mercury generally causes neurological problems. My husband did not have neurological problems. He had pancreatic cancer. That was his weakness. The weakest chain, we are a big chain, and the weakest part here will break. So I would say, make sure you talk with your patient, find out what his problems are, and then simply try to detoxify. You see, if there
at what age your husband passed away? At what age? At what age did he serve?
You can't do this with an infant. The thing is, you have to, of course, create the treatment according to age, sex, and also the patient's sensitivity. There is no one treatment for everybody. I think the easy thing is to know that metals can be easily removed. The more difficult thing is that metals, when you have accumulated them over a long time, will create a variety of symptoms that are not necessarily typical anymore. You also have to realize that in this day and age, we are not really exposed to one toxin only. It's a variety of toxins. I mean, let's look at Punjab. What we found in our studies was high uranium, high cadmium, high lead, high pesticides. So this is a melange of toxins that causes a variety of symptoms that are not easily typical. They're not typical necessarily. And that, of course, is a great challenge to people like you. It's a great challenge. But it is not impossible to solve the problem.
No, madam, see,
Yeah.
in your family, you had two members. Your daughter must be of much younger age, whereas your husband must be, advanced age. Now, almost similar genetic makeup between the daughter and father. Was there any similarity in clinical signs or weaknesses in certain systems of the body?
I would say not really similarity, no. No. You see, my daughter, we noticed because she had neurological problems, anxiety problems that could not be explained. Nothing had happened to her psychologically. So she just had these unexplained anxiety attacks, and she also had food reactions. She was really reacting to MSG, monosodium glutamate. Now we have, of course, she is now 47 or so. We have detoxified her continuously. And her reactions are not there anymore, but she's still sensitive. She is not one who could drink a lot of alcohol. She's very sensitive to alcohol, which is good. So she also knows she has to be careful with certain things. Yes. I cannot give you a general information. I would love to. Thank you.
Okay. See, another thing which comes to my mind, now entire world, because of COVID-19, is all placed for a huge immunization campaign. And first time such a large global immunization would take place in elderly. It would be reverse. It would not be for children. And there is a possibility, of deficiency of certain enzymes or some kind of weak immune system, which would affect this antigen altogether, a new vaccine. How do you look at this?
You see, I have worked in research all my life. I would say I'm very hesitant to believe that they could come up with a vaccine in such a short time. I also think vaccination is good. Okay, we know that from measles and polio. But it's not the only answer. If we're talking about viral disease, we need to discuss prevention. We need to discuss improving the host so it is not so attractive to the virus. Now, we hear a lot about vaccines right now, and I'm sure when people are vaccinated largely, we will have the numbers come down, if only psychologically. I do not know. I do not know, but it will put people at ease. You also have to remember, health is not just body. Health is also mind. If you are constantly under stress, thinking, oh my God, I could be infected. Oh my God, I have a cough. Oh my God. Okay, this is a huge stress. And we know that stress causes chemical disbalance in the body. So we are not doing our body a favor by being constantly under stress. Relax, to meditate. This would be my answer, but nobody listens to me in the government. So we are in lockdown. There was a question about fish oil. I would say fish oil as such is a good thing. And I would imagine that the manufacturers probably take good care in having healthy fish oil. I do not know the details, and I have not really tested fish oil in a long, long time, so I would not know. There's also talk about cilantro, green juices, chlorella, and all that. All fine and good. The most important is for all natural substances is you need to know where it comes from. Okay, if we're getting chlorella from, that has, chlorella are algae, okay? If we are getting algae from polluted water, we will have polluted algae, okay? Now, there was a study done by the German government, the Environmental Agency of Germany, some years ago, not too long, where they tested a variety of algae, chlorellas and so on. And they found some were extremely high in arsenic. And they actually put a warning out. So I have mixed feelings about that. You need to know where your stuff comes from. So here another one, metal exposure affect the body of the human. Yes. How can we protect ourselves? Well, you need to, number one, I talked to you about it. I need to, you see, when I'm exposed to toxins, I'm better prepared than maybe you. But even though I live a healthy lifestyle, which means I pretty soon will have to close this conversation, have to go out before it's dark because I have a dog. She's sitting here with me and she's waiting to go out. You see, live a healthy lifestyle, meaning good food, healthy food as much as you can. Try to get organic food if you can. I do. Go for walks. Clean your mind. Be positive. Every day I get up, I look out the window and I say, thank God for being good to me. And that alone is a blessing. So you see, this is all health. It's not just chemicals. It's all health. And I would like you to really think about what you're doing. Why are you stressed about certain things? And then unstress. And also accept certain things. I know when we talk about autism, I have seen a lot of autistic children all over the world. Some children, ma'am, you have to turn down. Yeah. Some autistic children were not truly autistic children. They were polluted children whose brain got really disturbed by toxins, may I say. Some autistic children that I worked with are totally healthy now, adults, very well. And some I could not help. So I will not promise to you that everything, if you do hair analysis, genetic testing, that your autistic child or your father, mother, child will become totally healthy again. But that one thing I know, if I peel the onion, if I take away toxic stress in whichever form, I will improve that patient. And every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. So I thank you very much. I am sorry, but I have to leave now. I would say you can contact Dr. Preet if you have questions. If there are questions he cannot answer, he can always contact me. You can contact me, and we will get you better. Thank you kindly, and God bless.
Thank you so much. I would like to request Dr. Preet to thank ma'am. If you can unmute Dr. Preet. Till then, on behalf of Kheti Virasat Mission, Shri Umendra Dutt ji and Dr. Amar Singh Azad, I thank you, ma'am. And I apologize, they are outside and they are traveling right now. Umendra ji tried to connect in the meeting, but due to connectivity issue, he can't. So on behalf of Umendra Dutt ji, I thank you so very much. Dr. Preet, please. Dr. Preet,
Here he is. So,
Hello. Hello. Yeah.
it's quite okay. If it doesn't function, if it's okay. I love you all, and God bless. Thank you much. Bye-bye.
Thank you so very much. Thank you, ma'am.
And hopefully, and for your all next information to all participants, our next session will be on 5th January. It was before, it was on 23rd December, but due to Christmas holidays in Germany, so ma'am cannot attend the seminar. So we all request to you, to all participants, please join us again on 5th January 2021. So hopefully we will see you in next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pritpal. Thank you so very much. And the participants may contact Dr. Pritpal. He has given his phone number in the chat box. You may find his number in chat box. So you can contact for your queries to Dr. Pritpal directly. I thank Dr. Pritpal and Madam E. Busch for today's session. And thank you so much to all the participants. Thank you so very much on behalf of Kheti Virasat Mission, Center for Holistic Health and Development. Thank you. Thank you so very much. See you soon.